Welcome back to our Let's Code of our static site generation um, learning experience. If you were with me last time, we messed around with Eleventy and basically started learning the basics of how to um, set up the templates and run, install the framework and um, create how to have our data be turned into the type of output we want. Um, so in this one, I think we're going to just jump in and start messing with a more real world example. We've looked at some of these tutorials. We didn't really implement them. I'm not that interested in um, following along in these tutorials. Um, we could be doing that all day, and that's not really, for me, the best way to learn. I have some ideas of what I want to implement, and so we're going to try to implement that. Um, so here's a website I'm kind of mocking out and working through. So I have like kind of a main page, and my idea was that I was going to have three different sections about the in my page. So there'd be a page that was the about section, so that'd be about me and about the site, and where you could find my resume, which I haven't done yet. Um, Things like that. A section on coding where I could do articles and link to some of these videos that you're watching. And then another section on gaming where I could link to Let's Plays, or I could do reviews, or I could um, put whatever I want. So this, we're going to try to turn this into our static into a static site using Eleventy. So real quick, I think there's a way to do tabs in this. I've never actually done that before. New tab. Very cool. Okay. So I'm learning Hyper um, while I'm learning some of these other tools. So inside Hyper, we're just using the same shell I've always used, and this is ZSH with the Oh My ZSH package running. But where does it drop us? Okay, so we need to be in projects, cd. So this is the website. So you see, I created everything in HTML, but I did start a content folder because I was planning on going in this direction. So here I have created some MD markup files. Let's see. So a lot of these are empty. Yep. But so let's go ahead and back out of this. So let's go ahead and create so we have 11D test. We want to let's call this website test. Okay, and we want to initialize a Git repo, and we want to go ahead and npm init. There we go. And we want to go ahead and npm install. Let's see, at 11t/11t. Save dev. So we typed that in all correctly. So I probably should have started this before and then switched over to an example of what we did. But so our layouts go in an includes folder, and then site creates all our folders for our HTML and everything. So what we don't know yet is, where does CSS go? Does that go includes? Well, let's find out. Well, should be done. Okay. No, we want to go to what? Oh, no. Okay. So we messed up a whole bunch of stuff here. We did all the stuff we... well, we'll clean that up. I'll clean that off camera. We're going to change into website test. Um, so that should get rid of the Git repository we accidentally created that had our website test in it. So now we'll go ahead and init in, yeah, and we go npm and we'll go npm Eleventy. Okay. So there's a lot of different layouts we could use. Layout types we could use. Liquid, it says, is the default. We may end up looking into some of those others. I don't know the pros and cons. Okay. And if we do npm x at 11t / 11t watch. We'll go ahead and stop this one. Actually, what happens here? Oh, sorry, we don't want to do that. We want to serve. So watch would just wait for changes. All right, so it does create it on a completely different port. So that's cool. So cannot get. Let's go ahead and MD, or let's start with MD. I'm sorry. And let's go ahead and open up start code. Yes. Okay. So let's go ahead and start with our front matter. website. So if this is going to crash on us probably. Oh, because we don't have the layout, we aren't up and running. Let's go ahead and includes. Go and create our liquid. And we'll just go ahead and start by stealing it from here, though we're going to throw that away pretty quickly. Okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and start our server. Okay, test our website, test website, test. So we don't want this test. I probably don't want that either. Not on the index page. So our website. Cool. Okay. So this has Marketplace has extensions that can help with liquid files. So let's go ahead and look and see what we have. Liquid language syntax highlighter. This liquid language support extension for the TM language file. Okay. And what about this one? Well, somebody spent a lot more time on this one than this one. At least with the... Okay, well let's try this one. Okay, so we have color coding. We may have some highlighting. Let's see, percent. Okay. Okay. We don't need to see this browser sync. That's for our other one. That's our old app. We don't care much about that. We may jump back into these tutorials, layouts. So this is all stuff that's we probably care about. But so let's go ahead and kill this. I don't think we need it anymore. So if this, we go ahead and I'm going to jump into our website. And let us pull stuff from there. Okay. So here, let's go ahead and open up my index page. So this is kind of what my document looks like. We're going to go ahead and copy that in and then start deleting stuff. Okay. Okay, let's see. Doc time blend headed. Okay. Character set. Okay. So did not mean all that. So this is here. Go ahead and kill all that. Okay. So if we inspect, well, let's go ahead and so we had some CSS over in this other app. So let's so we brought in some files. I think that colors CSS is just something I pulled down from an Adobe site, giving me some color. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and kill that. If we go in here and look at our reset CSS, so this is a reset styling that basically takes all of your styling and gets you to a good starting base. And then I brought in, I got both this reset and the style from from the same place. Let's see. HTML5 reset came with both of those files, and so this had some styling. I've added above here. Down below, this is where it has some default stuff. So hover colors and selection. So I haven't changed like the selection colors. So there's a lot of this that that is just kind of placeholder. But let's see. Okay. Let's inspect. So it's looking for reset CSS. It's probably expecting that to be in the site folder. Let's copy these. Into the includes. Oh, I'm in the includes. Oh, okay, so I put them in the includes and they don't. They didn't make it into the site. So let's go ahead and move them up one level. Okay. So it's probably going to be, well, let's do the same thing, but move them into the underscore sites. Okay. So I'm just looking. Template and directory data files. JavaScript and data files. Okay, well, for now, we'll just go with that. And we'll figure out where those static files need to go. Okay. So, where are we? Let's go ahead and make directories for the 3 different sections. Okay. So let's, we're working on coding. Let's go ahead and change into our coding directory. And so far we've done a couple different video series. Let's go ahead and this coding dojo.md touch. We've done a FizzBuzz kata. Let's create a page for that, and let's go ahead and we did one for bowling game. And we're doing this let's code. I don't know if this is what we actually want, but we are in here. So if we go ahead and add our front matter, page title, so here we'll put some other like metadata here. We can put dates and whatnot. We'll just say info about our bowling game kata. copy that. Go and paste, paste, paste. So this is about our code. Okay. So, I mean, this is obviously super, super basic. We just care about populating out these files so we can make sure that the generation and everything is going. So this is going to have spit out a whole bunch of files, info about our... So this isn't what we wanted. So what we wanted was to use our layout. But it didn't do that. So let's go ahead and create a JSON file. I think if we call it coding.json, and we do layout. So see, it went ahead and regenerated all those. So if we went to coding slash fizzbuzz. Okay. What are our errors? I think our errors... So didn't find the CSS file, didn't find the reset file. Okay, so we're not doing the... style sheet correctly. But we are generating our files. And what if we went to... Not what I wanted. Coding. So there's nothing actually generated at coding, but at fizz buzz. Okay. And let's go ahead and modify our here. So if we go tags, coding. So this should add metadata to each of these. that we're not going to see in this page. We could if we wanted to spit out the tags, but I think this will create a collection that will let us change. So real quick, let's look at our site. We have kind of this sidebar. Let's go ahead and recreate that. Main div content. Okay. And our liquid layout, body. Okay. And then had a sidebar. So I'm not convinced that this is the layout we actually want. I will, once I figure out what I want the app to more or less be, I will kind of rebuild it for mobile first and start that way. So what I want to do here is I'm going to create some navigation here. And so we saw a way that they did that, probably in this green one here. Yeah, so they were able to, for posts in collections.posts. So let's go ahead and try the same thing. But we're going to go ahead and steal from the About page real quick. So the About page is pretty much the same thing, but we have this here. So we have these, which don't exist, so we want to swap those out. And let's see if we can... So N4. For page in collections.coding. Let's try something. So if we did this right, we'll see. Okay, so we did not do that right. Oh, so they are curly braces and not angle braces. So if we get that right, we should have something, something, something for each of the items in our collection. And if we change this to, let's see, page title, I'm guessing here. Okay, that's not right. We would actually want to okay, page title isn't correct. Let's try title. Okay. So data. So it looks like we have metadata and then everything else in our data. So we'll go page dot data dot page title. Okay, we have those there, and we're going to go ahead and do something similar to visualize the URL. So Coding Dojo, FizzBuzz, bowling, let's code, okay. So if we change that into links, so in there we want the page title. And our href to be page.url. Okay, so we got that. About FizzBuzz, bowling. Okay, so that's cool. Does it give an example? Okay. Post.date, date format. Has each box creation date, okay. I'd probably want to put the date in the front matter instead. That way I can kind of adjust those, because sometimes you'll write something somewhere else. Like I want the date that the ideas were written down, and maybe I sketched them on a piece of paper, or maybe I typed them up in a different app. Just because I didn't create the MD file, I don't want to use that date. So otherwise I would have to manipulate the data of the file, which seems like a hassle. Okay. So I bet there's a lot more stuff in the blog project. So another thing we'd want is to have set the active page. We need to figure out where to put the CSS files and CSS files. so that everything is correct. Um, and then we'd want um, to learn more about how we can use markup to inject different things. For instance, images or links to YouTube. That's going to be a big thing. Um, so let's look at. So they create a folder called CSS. Let's see what happens when we put something in CSS. Maybe they've done something special to make sure that the CSS is spit out. So they are using, I believe that's Nunjux. I don't know anything about that markup, comparing that to Liquid. That's something to look in as well. Let's go ahead. Yeah, it's base, home, post. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and move. All of our CSS files to CSS. So let's see what that does to our test website. Okay, didn't seem to do anything. Oh. Yeah. Okay, because CSS and PNG are listed in template formats, but are not supported template types, any files with these extensions will be copied without modification to the output while keeping the same directory structure. So are we seeing that? Not seeing that. Because template formats. Okay. So where are the template formats stored? Okay, so .11d ignore means you can create an MD README file and have it not spit those out. What is the underscore 11d? This includes layouts, about, index, okay. Nothing in image. So what am I not understanding? Okay. About index shows how to add a content page / post has blog posts, but they really can live in any directory. They only need to add the post tag to be added to this collection. Post tag to be added to this collection. Add the nav tag to add a template to the top level site navigation. For example, content community template format. Blog posts need to be markdown, for example. Configure your supported templates in Eleventy.js -template formats. Because the CSS and PNG are listed in template formats but are not supported template types, any files with these extensions will be copied without modification to the output, while keeping the same directory structure. So if you check out the Eleventy.js, template formats, I don't see CSS in there. Am I looking at the wrong one? Is there a different one that I'm not seeing? Okay. Well, we may end up needing to add a Eleventy.js file. Right now we haven't needed it. Let's go ahead and look at the difference between Nunjux and Liquid. Okay, you can override Nunjux template engine, Nunjux options. Let Nunjux require includes. Usage, my filter. What was that? Sorry. Short code usage, output usage. Okay, this doesn't really tell us. This kind of tells us how to set it up. So it's Nunjux from Mozilla. Okay. Cool. So here we can find the documentation for Nunjux. Let's look at Open source created by Shopify, written in Ruby. Okay. Okay, Shopify. Always use the latest version. Jekyll is a static site. Okay. Let's look up Liquid versus Nunjucks. So okay, this is basically showing uses of. Okay, so it's not finding Liquid in the npm repository, which is, I guess, because Liquid is actually a Ruby template. So maybe we're not. This probably isn't using Liquid. It's probably just using the Liquid format. But we'll see. Because of a rich and powerful templating language for JavaScript, which sounds about right. It's not intentionally super lightweight like Mustache, or the slightly more robust but still pretty light Handlebars. It's a full-on language packed with all kinds of stuff you may want when writing templates. Can run in a browser. You probably shouldn't. Who wrote this? Okay, Chris Coyier. I'm a fan. I've read a bunch of stuff that Chris Coyier has written, so when you're reading something, I like to at least know who's saying it. Not that that'll change my opinion, but okay, so includes, that's nice. We'll probably want to do that some. Um, okay. Well, that gives us a little bit more information about Nunjucks and Liquid. These template didn't tell us much. Let's look at front matter. Okay, title, different front matter customizations, permalink. Okay, layout, pagination. How about multiple HTML files from a single template? That's interesting. Tags, date, overrides the default date. Cool. So if it overrides, then we can just use the page.date in the places we care about. And we definitely will want to do that. So I'm a big fan of putting the date when something is on there. Maybe not necessarily on the home page, but it always bothers me when I run into an article and you don't know when it's written, because particularly with software things, you kind of want to know, okay, is this current, or is this something that could be out of date? Doesn't necessarily change the data, but if somebody says, okay, the current version of, you know, let's say Eleventy is 0.83, well, that's the current as of some point in time. So uh, also, if somebody says, okay, this is the best way to do something, well, sometimes the best way to do something changes over time. So, um, okay, so here's different ways we can do the front matter. We can do the front matter just with simple YAML style. We can do it with JSON or with JavaScript. Um, I think we're probably um, stick with the YAML. That it's simple and is obvious, even if you don't know exactly what's going on. That's cool though. The fact that you can use whatever means that they're planning for um, they're planning for the future, planning for different different ways of different ways of doing things and letting you extend things. Working with templates, so we have layouts, collections, pagination, content dates, permalinks, and common pitfalls. Let's look at common pitfalls. When I display a date, it's off by 1 day. You're probably displaying UTC dates in local time. Mini formats when you set your file name as blah blah blah. That's to UTC. Okay. Okay. So basically, it says collections can be out of order. It says use explicitly signed dates in your front matter. We were planning on doing that anyway. Okay. Has a bunch of pre and code blocks. Indent code block. There's an identifiable spaces which transform a code block. Okay. Pass through file copy. Eleventy by default searches for any file in the input directory with a file extension listed in your template formats configuration. That means if you've listed .njk in your templates formats, will look for any nunjuk template files. If a file format is not recognized by Eleventy as a valid template file, extension Eleventy will simply copy this file into your output. For example, in the above code sample, CSS is not currently a recognized Eleventy template, but Eleventy will search for any CSS files inside of the input directory and copy them to the output. You may want to use this for images by adding JPEG, PNG, or even web. Okay. Let's go ahead and create an Eleventy. Okay, so it added our CSS there. So we want to go ahead and change our layout. We want to go there we go. And if we go ahead and let's look in our pages, so if we go H1, H2, let's go ahead and try this. Let's try that. That may not actually work. And let's try that. Let's see what we get. See, make sure it didn't blow up on us. So, okay. So it didn't spit out the date. So it did spit out our tags. Okay. So the fact that this looks like this is just an error in our CSS, I don't have that quite. I haven't made things look good yet. Let's see. So let's look at dates. So title. So use page title. What spit out? Coding Dojo. Okay. Let's see if we just used the title instead. Okay. Did we, inside of our we put page title. Let's call it title. That's probably what we want. Okay. We'll change all those to title. Actually, let's make sure that that doesn't break our... It did. Let's go ahead and change our layout to change it from page title to title. Yep, okay. So those swapped. So bowling, coding, FizzBuzz. We need to save FizzBuzz. Okay. And then then switch to our content. We wanted that back to title. So tags is fine. So this is on our data. What if we go ahead and put a date? What if we put a date on our coding dojo? What is our format? Let's go. Okay, there we go. And we probably want to do that. Like it said, we want to switch it to the UTC. And format our date string the way we want it. But that's very cool. Very easy to add our dates. Very easy to add our data. We figured out how to put our styling. Trying to think if there's another problem that we don't know about how to do. Obviously, this isn't a direct replication of this yet, but we should be able. We should have all the knowledge we need to do that. So we need to be able to figure out, can we loop through collections? Not through a given collection, but all the collections. So let's go ahead and go in here. Let's go ahead and cd about, and let's go 1.md. Oh, sorry. .md, and we will go ahead and do an .json, and let's go ahead and look at that. So we want to use a layout of layout.liquid, and we want tags to be an array. About. So, and I think we can, because it's an array, we can put things in multiple collections, and they'll show up in multiple collections. So let's go ahead and give each of these a front matter. Title 1. Okay, and we should be able to go to about 1, about 2. So about 2 doesn't actually show up. So that's not going to actually work. We want to go ahead and change that to... Oh, no, we called it... Sorry, we called it 2. But we titled it there. Okay, so let's see if we can loop through our collections in some way. So instead of just looping through here, so let's go back into our liquid layout. Let's do I'm going to go ahead and bring on, I had a sections, so we're going to go ahead and bring that in. But let's go ahead and comment these out. And try and 4. And let's go ahead and start by, we'll just spit out something. So that should spit out something for each collection we know about. So for some reason we have 3 collections. So let's see if we can spit out collection dot title. Okay, so title isn't a thing on there. Name. Okay. Let's look into collections. Oh, so here's about active class, spectral all collection. Okay. Okay. We may not actually need our sections to be dynamic. We are probably going to very rarely add to this, but we are going to add content to each of these much more often. But what we just read does give us a little bit more info. So we will have right now we should have our coding collection, our about collection, and then it creates an all collection. So sorting is going to be very useful. Sorts in ascending order using the created date. Okay. Nunjucks, you can do that. You should not use array reverse on collection arrays in your template. This will mutate the array. Yeah, we don't want to mutate the array. Custom filtering and sorting. To get fancier with your collections and even do a bit of your own custom filtering, If you like, you can use our configuration API. Config use the first argument to the config function. Get unsorted items. Okay, there we can do our own filtering. Okay. Okay. My custom sort. Okay. Well, this has been pretty informative. So we probably don't need these to be dynamic. We'll probably mess around with the active link as well. So these are going to take us to pages that don't actually exist. We would want them. So I think we would want a page inside each one of these that is not that is kind of our landing page. But this video has been going on for an hour. Let's go ahead and call it here. We learned lots of really good stuff. I think I'm going to try to actually convert my site over to using Eleventy. And then and see how I like it, and post it out. One of the things I'll do is once I have everything in our markup files, it should be pretty easy to try it in some other static site generators if we want to compare and contrast. But for now, I'm liking this one, so we'll use it and start seeing where are the places where we actually start bumping our heads against features or things become the defaults just aren't working for us, and see how that really goes. So, and whether we need to stick with liquid or we need to switch to nunjucks, or whatever. So, if I run across something else I need to learn or implement with this, I'll probably make another video. I probably won't make a video of me converting every little thing, but yeah, this was a good learning experience. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, leave a comment. If you didn't enjoy this, go ahead and leave a comment anyway, and give me some feedback about was there something I could have done different that you would have enjoyed, or yeah, just give me your feedback. And thanks for watching. Bye.